Welcome to StopFake, the place where we set the record straight about disinformation about Ukraine. I'm Kyiv Post Editor-in-Chief Brian Bonner with StopFake's latest dissection of Russian alternate reality. 3 weeks after Ukraine's visa-free travel regime with European Union Schengen zone countries went into effect, the Russian propaganda machine continues churning out fakes claiming that visa-free travel is a sham, that it will lead to increased sex trafficking and will cause Poland to close its border with Ukraine. They also claim the Ukrainian military shot at OSCE monitors again. So let's start digging and get at the truth. Russian media have been apoplectically making all sorts of outrageous claims about Ukraine's new travel freedom to EU Schengen countries. Russia's internet newspaper, Ukraina.ru, declared that visa-free travel doesn't work, as a group of Ukrainians were denied entry to Bulgaria because they did not have visas. Scores followed to eagerly reprint the fake. A Ukrainian family bound for Bulgaria were not allowed to travel there despite having biometric passports. The bus company Echolines claimed that they had their own rules about visas and would not let them board the bus, a family relative posted on her Facebook page. The incident had nothing to do with visa-free travel rules or Bulgarian border guards, but rather with the incompetence of a tour operator who clearly does not understand the basics of customer service. Echolines published an apology on its Facebook page, saying their employee had made a mistake and promised that in the future its employees would be better trained so as to prevent such unfortunate events from happening again. Echolines has since removed that apology from its Facebook page, but we managed to save a screenshot of that post. It appears that one unfortunate incident caused by a poorly trained employee not only ruined a family's vacation plans, but also gave Russian media the pretext to claim that visa-free travel for Ukrainians was a complete sham and an utter failure. Not only is the new travel arrangement with the EU a sham, according to Ukraina.ru, it will also lead to increased trafficking of Ukrainian women into sexual slavery. In an article entitled "The Reverse Side of Visa-Free Travel," published just 9 days after visa-free travel officially began, Ukraina.ru went out of its way to predict that Ukraine's new freedom to travel to EU countries will negatively impact on the country and its society. Using two foiled attempts to transfer women from Ukraine to Europe, allegedly for sex work, as proof that sex trafficking is growing in Ukraine, the article provides no details about the incidents but makes sweeping generalizations about Ukraine's social problems and predicts that sex trafficking from Ukraine will skyrocket. According to the International Organization for Migration, it is Russia and not the EU that remains the main country of destination for trafficking from Ukraine. Last year, 67% of people trafficked in Russia came from Ukraine, 64% in 2015 and 77% in 2014. The director of the La Strada anti-trafficking organization, Katerina Levchenko, told StopFake that visa-free travel does not lead to increased sex trafficking. Neither Moldova nor Georgia saw an increase in human trafficking after they were able to travel to the EU without visas, she said. EU countries are not a priority for traffickers from Ukraine, adding that Turkey, China, United Arab Emirates, Philippines, Malaysia, and Japan are also among the favorites. Levchenko also pointed out that visa-free travel liberates Ukrainians from criminal groups who provided visa services earlier. These gangs would force Ukrainians to work illegally to repay the costs of the visa many times over. Not to be outdone in churning out visa-free travel fakes, Russia's defense ministry channel Zvezda declared that Poland wanted to close its border with Ukraine. As is often the case in such Russian fakes, the declaratory headline does not correspond to the actual story. Zvezda's fake claim concerns the Dolbichev-Urinov road and passenger crossing, which opened in July 2014. The border crossing features a pilot pedestrian crossing slated to close at the end of June. Ukraine's State Border Guard Service, Oleh Slobodan, told StopFake that Ukraine's foreign ministry had officially asked Poland to make the pedestrian crossing a permanent feature. Poland has yet to officially respond to Ukraine's request. Ukraine's border with Poland is 535 kilometers long. It is the most often crossed eastern border of the EU. According to the Ukrainian State Border Guard Service, there are 14 rail, cargo, and passenger border crossings between Ukraine and Poland. Last month, scores of Russian and self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic media accused Ukraine's military of shooting at an OSCE monitoring mission. The attack occurred on June 20th when a civilian car with Ukrainian number plates approached an OSCE vehicle. An armed man dressed in camouflage emerged and proceeded to attack and shoot at the OSCE jeep. This is not the first time that the DPR has accused Ukraine's military of shooting at members of the OSCE. We debunked a similar fake claim in September 2016. Although the attack occurred on separatist-controlled territory, Russian media quickly picked up the separatist version of events and accused Ukraine's special services of organizing the incident. There's no mention of any vehicle, much less one with the Ukrainian number plates, in the official OSCE report of events that occurred June 20th. The report notes that an armed man opened fire and violently attacked the special monitoring mission in Yasnovata, a town in separatist-controlled territory. At a June 21st OSCE press conference held in Donetsk, Special Monitoring Mission Deputy Chief Alexander Hug said, "It's totally unacceptable that the so-called DPR side is unable to control this area or unwilling to control its own men. They have signed on the dotted line to enable this mission to operate safely in this area, and we have been calling and will continue to call upon those in effective control to ensure that those who committed these aggressive acts will be held to account." Ukraine's foreign and defense ministries condemned the attack and called the latest incident an escalation in threats aimed to limit monitors' access to separatist-controlled territories. The U.S. State Department expressed concern and called the attack part of a broader effort to keep the international community from seeing what is happening in eastern Ukraine, while Austria, which holds the current presidency of the OSCE, said the perpetrators must be held accountable. That's it for this week. Be vigilant. Beware of fakes. If you spot any disinformation about Ukraine, send it to us for a truth autopsy. Remember to stay healthy, don't consume fake news, your brain will thank you, and the psychological climate of society will not suffer a precipitous decline. I'm Brian Bonner, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.